take a look at keeping your bobbin area nice and clean. First of all, you're going to need your brush that comes with your machine, and just a tip, once you've cleaned your machine, just swish the little bristles through some warm soapy water so that your brush is clean, because it wouldn't make sense to try and clean your machine with a dirty brush. So now the next thing we're going to do is make sure that the machine is off. Then we're going to remove the little bobbin cover, take the bobbin out, and we put all those pieces aside so they don't get lost. And then we're going to remove this grey cover by sliding it forward towards us. So it just clicks out, and we're going to pop that aside. And then we're going to take the bobbin case out, and we'll come back and talk more about the bobbin case just now, but for now we're going to pop everything aside. Now, if you have a look inside here, you'll find that there's a lot of dust that builds up inside this bobbin case area. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so that you can get a closer view. Now you'll be able to see the inside of that bobbin casing. Now the important thing is that you take the little brush and you clean inside here. Now you'll find all sorts of dust and lint that comes out of here. Now my machine has been cleaned pretty recently, but already there's some fluff that is caught on those little bristles. So just clean inside here regularly, particularly if it's an embroidery machine. The reason being is that the stitch and tear backing creates a big dust build up underneath this bobbin area, and then what happens is that it goes underneath the bobbin case itself. So then the bobbin case lifts up and up and up in the air, and that can cause tension problems. So always make sure that that is really nice and clean. Now just another tip, if you find that this little brush is too small for you to work with, then by all means use a small paint brush. But please do not spray inside there with any air tools or blowers, and certainly not hair dryers, because underneath here and there are little sensors, and if you damage those sensors either with heat or with too strong a blast of air, then you're going to have to take your machine to the technician to have it repaired. So please only ever use the little brush or a paint brush to clean out inside here. Now once you've finished cleaning inside the bobbin area, you can also just dust all the little areas that are around the bobbin case. So just go very gently and dust all the way around on all the edges. Now the other important thing is that once that's clean, go and give your brush a little wash, and then come back and then clean inside your bobbin case. And what I do is I also just clean across this little furry bit that is on the bobbin case. Now this little furry bit is responsible for guiding your bobbin thread across, so that it doesn't go all over the place. So the bobbin thread will nestle in between that pile, and it will get guided nice and evenly. Now after a while this obviously will get worn out, but that's not a problem because you can just lift it up. It sticks down onto the bobbin case, so you lift it up and throw it away and buy yourself a new little fur pile that goes on there, and it will just stick on. The other important thing is that after a few years, your bobbin case will start to lose its tension. And then what will happen is that you will need to tighten that tension a little bit. Now, if we have a look at the bobbin case, this is the bobbin case that doesn't have the little green painted screw. Now you'll see that the bobbin case that's got the green painted screw is the one that you cannot adjust. So generally the one that can be adjusted has no paint on the screw, and this little screw over here with the straight slot, and if I hold it a little bit closer you'll be able to see it's got a straight slot, not a cross slot like that has there. So here you've got the little straight slot. Now this is the screw that adjusts the tension of the bobbin case. Now obviously after a while the little spring that is inside this bobbin case will start getting a bit slack and lose its tension. So that's when you go and fetch your little screwdriver and you'll have a look at where the slot is facing. Now at the moment, if you imagine that this is a clock face, this will be the hour hand, which is on 6 o'clock or 12 o'clock, whichever part of the clock you're looking at. So it would be 6 o'clock over there or 12 o'clock over there. Now what you're going to do is take your little screwdriver and just move the screw until it moves forward. So in other words, you turn it clockwise until it's, say, at a 6 or 12 or 3 o'clock, depending on how you want to look at it. But basically it's moving it forward a quarter of a turn each time. So I always say move it forward 15 minutes. So it would then move to that position there. Then test the machine, and if your tension is right, then that's fine. If it's still too loose, now we're talking about the bobbin tension. So if it's still too loose, then you would just move it forward another 15 minutes. But don't just turn it and then you don't know where you've turned it to. Rather go 15 minutes at a time until your tension is right. Now, as far as the bobbin tension goes, the general rule is that if the thread on the top of your embroidery is too loose, then it means one of two things. It means that either the bobbin tension is too loose and it's not pulling the threads strongly enough, or it means your top tension is too loose. So first of all, start with your top tension, and if that doesn't solve the problem, then chances are your bobbin also needs to be tightened up a little bit. So that is how you tighten the bobbin tension. Just move the little screw forward 15 minutes, test it. If that doesn't work, move it forward another 15 minutes. Then obviously your bobbin case is going to get to the stage where you cannot adjust the screw anymore. You would have turned it to its maximum. And then if you're having tension problems, then it's time to replace this whole bobbin case. Now we're going to have a look at replacing the clean bobbin case back into the bobbin area. Now the most important thing to look for is you'll see on the bobbin case there is a little white arrow, and then on the machine itself there is a little white dot. So what we need to do is slip the bobbin case in so that that white arrow is facing the white dot, and then it drops in and it's in perfectly. If you don't line those up, then you battle to drop the bobbin case back into place. Then what you're going to do is, once that's done, you're going to take the little grey cover, and then you're going to just slide that back in place. So just pop it down and push it back in, and you'll feel it click in place, and then you're ready to pop your bobbin in and the bobbin cover. Now while we're here, I just want to show you that this little section here, please don't remove these screws unless it's absolutely necessary. And the reason I say that is that this section here technically never really needs to be undone. If you want to give it a clean, then you can just take a little brush and clean here, and all the dust will drop down to the bottom of the machine. But this area here is really where only the technician should be fiddling. So in other words, he would open this up when he's doing a service and then give it a good clean, because anything that drops down from below here drops down into the very bottom of the machine, where it can't cause any problems anyway. Now the other reason why I say you shouldn't take these screws off and remove this metal plate is because underneath here and here are little sensors. Now if you don't put this plate back correctly, the machine will not work. Now you might just have been a little bit rough when you were taking it off or putting it back on, and then you just happen to move one of those sensors very slightly. The machine will not work, and then you're going to have to take it to the technician for him to just adjust and put those sensors back where they belong. So please try not to open this plate here, because theoretically you shouldn't have to open this plate. If you have threads that are jammed in underneath here, that can be solved by pulling this front cover off and then just slipping a little quick unpick or something, a pin or a needle in there, and pulling the jammed threads out. But please, as I say, try not to remove that plate. Now we're going to take a look at what you can do if your machine suddenly stops telling you that your bobbin is empty. Now the reason that the machine will stop telling you that the bobbin is empty is because there's a little eye over here that looks across to a sensor over here, and that tells the machine when the bobbin thread is running low, or when the bobbin is nearly empty and when it is empty. Now what would happen is that, particularly with an embroidery machine, a lot of the stitch and tear dust goes and settles on the little eye that is underneath here. So in other words, that little eye can't see as well as it should, and sometimes it might not be able to see at all because it's got too much dust on it. So this is how you are going to remedy that. The first thing that you would have had to do is obviously take the bobbin out, remove the grey cover, and take the whole bobbin case out. Give everything a good clean, and then once that's done, go and swish your little brush through some warm soapy water so that the brush is clean, but make sure that it is perfectly dry as well. Then the next thing you're going to do is turn the flywheel of the machine, and you turn it towards you until you see the little slot appearing. Now I've gone just a little bit too far past, so I'm just coming back slightly. Now you'll see that there is a big slot that is open here in the bobbin case area. When I first opened it, the solid part was covering, so you need to turn the flywheel towards you just a little bit so that the slot is there, because now this is where you're going to be extremely gentle. You're going to just take your little brush and just sweep it across, and it's going to sweep the dust off of the little eye. And if you took a torch and you looked inside there, you'd be able to see that just over there is a little eye that you're going to be just sweeping to sweep the dust off of it, but be extremely gentle with your machine. And then you're going to do the same on this side here. So turn the flower wheel until the slot is over here, and then you're going to stick your brush in there and just sweep. Now once that's all done, you're then going to just put the gray cover back. Don't put the bobbin case back yet. Just put the gray part back on, and then you're going to turn your machine on and then press the needle up, needle down button twice, and then it's going to recalibrate itself and put that bobbin mechanism back in place where it should be. So let's do that quickly. So now I'm going to just turn the machine on quickly. And then once the machine is on, I'm going to just touch the screen and it's calibrated the needle part, and now we just press needle down, needle up, and you can just do that twice. You can do it 4 times if you like, but no less than twice. Then we need to turn the machine off again, because now I want to remove this grey cover to put the bobbin case back in. And when I remove the cover, you'll see that it has put the bobbin mechanism in place so that the solid part is covering the eye again. Now if I try and take this off on my machine, you'll hear it go bing bing, because it's telling me that the front cover is off. Some of the machines do that, so just be aware of that. So now I'm going to turn the machine off again, and then I'm going to pop the bobbin case back, put the cover back on, and then the machine will be back to normal.